I've talked in the past about the problems that I think are associated with the first-person point of view, so today I want to concentrate on getting the most out of a first-person perspective. In addition to allowing you to create an interesting and fresh narrative voice, writing in the first person is an opportunity to add subtlety and complexity to your story. Here's Zoe Heller talking about the point of view in her best-selling novel Notes in a Scandal. At some point during the summer of 2000, I had an idea of writing a novel about a love affair between a woman teacher and her teenage pupil. The Mary Kay Letourneau case had recently been in the US news, and a lot of things about that story had intrigued me, not least the amount of journalistic cant it inspired on the subject of female sexuality and appropriate sexual relationships. The line that I had in my mind when I began writing, the motto for the book, in a way, was one of W.H. Auden's: "The desires of the heart are as crooked as corkscrews." I made a number of false starts with the book, writing it from the teacher's point of view, from an omniscient third-person perspective, and so on, until a couple of months in, it occurred to me to tell the story in the voice of Barbara, an older colleague and friend of the badly behaved teacher. Philip Roth once described novel writing as a process of problem solving, and for me, the discovery of Barbara offered the solution to several problems all at once. It was a great aha moment. I felt straight away that I knew Barbara completely, that I had her voice. It was one of those rare instances in my writing life when I was positively eager to get to the computer and start work every day. Perhaps the most useful thing that Barbara gave me was a way of opening the book up, of both amplifying and complicating things. I had a further illustration of love's crooked ways, but I also had a weird, charismatic narrator and a new range of Barbara-related subjects, childlessness, loneliness, old age, to write about. Barbara is an example of a peripheral narrator. Like Nick in F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, she narrates the story but isn't centrally involved in the drama that she describes. Barbara isn't directly involved in the scandal that she relays. Peripheral narrators have a limited understanding of the events that they describe, and this is one of the great things about first-person narrators. First-person narrators only see a little bit of other characters' lives. And this is where so much human drama comes from the fundamental unknowability of other people, the fact that we just can't know what anyone else thinks or what they do behind closed doors. Even when your narrator does know what's happened, she may not be honest about it. She could be an example of an unreliable narrator. Take Humbert, the narrator of Vladimir Nabokov's Lolita. Humbert is a murderer and a paedophile, and not somebody whose opinion, whose version of events we should necessarily believe. And yet his narrative is our only insight into what's happened. To what extent we should believe his version of events, and particularly his portrayal of Lolita, is a question that every reader has to tackle. Of course, alternatively, your narrator could know what's happened and could endeavour to describe it honestly, but they may not be capable of understanding events. And this is an opportunity to introduce some dramatic irony. Dramatic irony is when the reader's understanding of events is greater than the characters. In Sue Townsend's Adrian Mole series, for instance, a lot of the comedy comes from Adrian's interpretation of events as demonstrating that he is a great and serious intellectual, while of course we're able to tell that he's not. So if you're using a first-person narrator, have a think about what they wouldn't know, what they would distort, and what they might not understand. Thanks for watching. Good luck with your writing.